will tend as a woman to earn his love the way a man can earn your love. And that would be by being attentive and interested and doing things for him. Because if he did those things for you, you would bond with him. But when you do those things for him, he doesn't bond with you. He actually detaches from you more. It doesn't bring him in connection with you. Is you don't want to do things for him, but you want to create opportunities for him to be successful in doing things for you. That's your role, which is to create a space where he can feel successful in meeting your needs. So what are your needs? Big need for a woman to increase her estrogen is to be heard. So don't ask him a lot of questions. Let him ask you questions. And if he doesn't ask you questions and he starts talking about himself because you're asking him lots of questions, you know you do it. And what you do at that moment when you're asking him questions about stuff, basically whatever he says, let it be a short answer. When he takes a breath, go, that makes sense. Or that's a good idea. I know just what you mean. You're right. And then launch into your perspective and talk at least 5 times more than him. Always talk way more than the guy, because then he's forced to listen to you. Then he's forced to get to know you. And for some men, as they get to know you, their sexual desire will disappear because they're hitting reality. They're going, oh, I'm not attracted to her, who she is. Those are the wrong guys. He's never going to be attracted to who you are. You've got to be yourself. And the right guy is going to go, wow, you know, I'm still turned on to her, even though I disagree with her. it's like, or if he agrees with you, it doesn't matter. But there's a place where you want to find a guy who has the desire for you, but he doesn't know if it's for you because he's just physically attracted. You have to show more of your inner world, and then he has to see, am I still attracted to that? And then his desire will help him to get to that place, unless you short circuit his desire by immediately satisfying his physical need instead of moving into talking more and sharing more and letting him do things for you. Then he gets to bond with you on an emotional level, a mental level. And if he still wants you, now you have the potential of a long-lasting relationship. If he doesn't want you, what you have to get, women, is next. He's not the guy you wanted. He's not the guy you wanted. And you have to gracefully be able to let go of guys without taking it personally to find the right guy. You got to go next. He wasn't the right guy. And that's why you don't want to be looking for the perfect guy, because you're going to go through several in some cases, but your goal is to make it a positive dating experience. And you gather these positive experiences, and then your mind clearly gets what it is I need, what I'm ready for, what I deserve, and it comes to you. That's the whole key. It's like I'm helping one of my daughters find a new house. It's going and seeing lots of houses. What's wrong with them? What's good with them? What's wrong with them? We have fun doing it. And the mind sets up exactly what you want, and then you can pull it in.
Yeah, there's so much there. And one thing that really stood out that I just want to emphasize, oftentimes I'll recommend to my clients, and I even do this sometimes with myself, with my husband, is if we can both literally and figuratively lean back and allow that space that you were talking about, John, for a man to step up into whatever role that he chooses to step up for, whether it be giving advice, support, listening, loving, whatever, then just being conscious of that and allowing that space, I think, can make a huge difference in our interactions with men, particularly if you want to feel your femininity. But we've been taught, and this is a big piece of our conversation today, we've been taught to jump in and to be so independent and so strong, take the lead, initiate, and that sort of thing. And like you talked about, give to men in the way that we think we'd like to be given to. And a lot of times that's backfiring. So just awareness of creating that space and being in the receptive mode, what I like to call graciously receiving from a man, can be so incredibly powerful.
That's so beautifully said. That's a very diplomatic, beautiful way of saying, in my world, use him. I just like, I love my car. I use my car. It's in a good place, and men have no problem as long as they feel that there's a reward. And what is the reward? The reward is that she is in a happier place. She feels safer. She feels more comfortable. It's acknowledged. And then that makes her happier. But her job is to find her happiness and And, we didn't go so far into as it is in my book, but it's all about women finding this hormonal balance of coming back to their estrogen side. And I'm not implying that they should take estrogen. I'm implying they can make it. Many women are being taught, well, you just make less and less as you get older and you menopause, you're not going to be making it. And that's all nonsense. Women's adrenal gland continues to make plenty of estrogen for them. But to make the estrogen, you have to do the behaviors. You have to feel it inside. When you feel you can depend on someone, and when you're feeling trust, when you're feeling love, when you're feeling appreciation, when you're feeling happy, any of those feelings, you're making estrogen at that time. And one of the challenges, I just want to toss it in here, is a crisis in the world, which is with all the pesticides that are put into our food and our water supply. They get into our body. And in scientific terms, they're called xenoestrogens. That means your body can't tell the difference between a pesticide and an estrogen. It binds with your estrogen receptors throughout your body. And what that does is it sends a message to your brain that you don't need to make estrogen. And when you say you don't have to make estrogen, you stop feeling your need for relationship. It frees you to go to your male side. I don't need a man. And it's really hard to come back to feeling I'm hungry for intimacy. I'm hungry for that romance. I'm hungry to share with someone. I'm hungry to feel like I don't have to drive all the time. Is that the feel that hunger for that is to feel your need. And when your body gets estrogen, because when you're feeling your need and you're getting your need met, that's how estrogen goes up. And for women who are still cycling, 5 days after your period, your estrogen levels need to double. Otherwise, your stress levels will be off the chart. That's when your body and your cycle naturally for 5 days, your estrogen levels double. And what you need at that time, one of the things you need to be general about it, you need pair bonding. Pair bonding is where you go to someone, your doctor, your chiropractor, your archery teacher, your professor, whatever it might be, somebody who has something that you need you can't give to yourself. That's called pair bonding. And that, of course, the most powerful pair bonding is romance, where you're getting that affection and that focus from a guy and getting empathy and understanding from a guy. It's a massive pair bonding experience, particularly for those 5 days. And when you don't get it during those 5 days, and it starts, you have your periods over. For 5 days after that, your estrogen levels are starting to rise again. So you're not feeling your needs too strongly. You're feeling quite independent and you're getting what you need. And then suddenly it doubles and your need for pair bonding for those 5 days doubles. And that's why your mood can shift, and that's where you feel the need for a man the most. That's where you'll feel your disappointment the most if you don't have a man. And if you don't get pair bonding, it doesn't have to be with a man. You can go out and find pair bonding, somebody who has something that you need, and you give something to get it. Then if that need is not fulfilled, then for the next 18 days, your body basically feels incomplete. It's like you missed a meal, and all afternoon you're going, I didn't eat. And this is very challenging. But after that 5 days, then your main need at that time is for progesterone. And progesterone is produced by social bonding and by self-nurturing. So that's where you have to become less dependent on men. But it's during those 5 days, and if you're already beyond menopause, it's during much around the full moon. That's where you want to make sure, if you can, to have some sort of pair bonding experience, because then it frees you for the rest of the 18 days after that, to give yourself permission to do self-nurturing. I remember we talked about women today are so busy taking care of everybody else, they don't nurture themselves. And particularly for women who are really in their male side during the day, that means they're making testosterone. Well, your body can't make progesterone when you're making testosterone. Your testosterone uses up progesterone, actually made out of the same subset of material. So if you're making testosterone, you can't make estrogen. So what you have to do is lower your progesterone levels. Lower your testosterone levels to come back to your female side, estrogen, and then you have to make progesterone. So this is all tricky. That's why I wrote a whole book on this, is that you need to be able to come back to your female, and there's it's like pink and blue of female. One side of your female side says, I'm going to take care of me, and I'm going to be a socialite, have lots of friends, and have fun. That's progesterone. And then there's the pure estrogen side in the first part of the cycle, which is where you feel your need for pair bonding. And that particularly doubles right around 5 days after your periods. For those 5 days, it's it's the best time to eat your meal, so to speak. If you miss that, then you're kind of out of balance for the rest of the month. So that's key stuff to know. And that's why I wrote a whole book on that. But the flip side of this is this whole cycle gets thrown off because we're getting these xenoestrogens in the body. So the key with xenoestrogens is to make sure that you're doing things to detoxify the body, to get those pesticides out. And that's my nutritional side of this whole thing. And I've got lots of videos on that at my website. And I'd just be remiss if I didn't tell women that, because there's a lot you can do within yourself to balance your hormones. And then there's a lot you do in your relationships.
Yeah, thank you, John. I'm so grateful that you are sharing this, because certainly our health and our well-being impact all of our lives and our quality of life, and can have a huge impact in the quality of our relationships. And I want to be respectful of your time. I know our time is going quickly, and I love speaking with you, so it's always hard to let you go. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with us today. And I want to encourage our listeners to visit your website, marsvenus.com, where they can be a part of your email list and get your weekly shows that you put out each week, and tap into the wisdom of your wonderful daughter, Lauren, who also puts out wonderful and delightful information. And then also, I just want to recommend, I know I'm going to pick it up myself, your new book, Beyond Mars and Venus. So I want to thank you, John, and I'll let you leave us with the last word in just a moment, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for so generously sharing. You're such a gift to the world, and I know your work has positively impacted the lives and relationships of so many people from around the world, and really thank you for being here. So I'll let you leave us with a last word before we wrap up.
Well, thank you. You know, as I go through a lot of this stuff, I know many people are going, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I didn't realize that. And you can be a little hard on yourself. But the truth is, nobody realizes this stuff. This is all new stuff. The world's a different place. We all want more in our relationships, and we haven't figured out how to get there. So it's only by trial and error that we get there. And it's just learning this and putting it into practice in small steps. And what I find is if you're taking steps in the right direction, then more things come to you. It's only when we're going in the wrong direction that our destiny can't be fulfilled. So following your heart, but taking the steps in the right direction that feel right. So celebrate. If I pointed out something and you go, oh my God, I've been doing it all wrong. Well, that's great. Now, if you start doing it in a way that works, then all this good will come to you. So this can be a great year of fulfillment and happiness in your relationships. Just start putting some of these new ideas into practice. And remember, you deserve it. You don't have to earn a man's love. The right guy is out there, and that's the blessing in the universe. He'll find you if you keep putting yourself out there, the best part of you.
Oh, thank you so much, John. I love that message of hope, and I really am so grateful to John for his generous wisdom, and for each of you for being here. John and I both commend you for being here with us. You're to be complimented, because obviously you care about the quality of your life and your learning and growth. So, John, thank you so much for being here. It's just been an honor and a delight.
And thank you.
Thank you so much to all of you for being here. Bye-bye for now.